Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we dig through the financial jargon to find you the real story. Today we're looking at CNS Pharmaceuticals Incorporated's latest proxy statement, and wow oh wow, do they have a lot of shares to talk about. This is T Your Average update, folks. This filing is all about their upcoming annual meeting on the 17th of November, and some pretty significant proposals that could reshape the company. We were talking about potentially massive increases in authorized shares and changes to their stock plan. So grab your popcorn because this could be a wild ride. First up, they're looking to elect 6 directors. Now this is pretty standard, but it is important to know who is steering the ship, right? We'll look at who these folks are and what they've been up to. Next, they want to ratify the appointment of Malone Bailey LLP as their independent auditors. Think of them as the company's financial referees, making sure everything adds up. Then we get to the juicy stuff, the say on pay proposal. This is where shareholders get to voice their opinion on how much and why the top executives are getting paid. It is advisory, meaning the board doesn't have to follow it, but it is a big signal of shareholder sentiment. Following that is a vote on how often shareholders should get to have that say on pay vote every year, every 2 years, or every 3 years. This shows how often the company wants to be held accountable for its compensation decisions. Now this is a big one, proposal number 5. They want to massively increase the number of authorized shares of common stock from 25 million to a whopping 300 million, and preferred stock from about 400,000 to 5 million. Why so many more shares? Well, they say it is for future financings, acquisitions, and stock incentives, but such a large increase could significantly dilute existing shareholders. It is like printing a lot more money when you already have some. You want to make sure everyone's slice of the pie doesn't get too small. And then there is proposal 6, which is tied to that share increase. They want to approve amendments to their 2020 stock plan, including increasing the number of shares available for grants. This means more stock options and awards can be given out to employees and executives, which ties back to that dilution concern. Finally, they're asking for the okay to adjourn the meeting if they don't get enough votes for the proposals. This basically gives them more time to persuade shareholders to vote their way. Let us dive into some of the numbers. Looking at the equity compensation plans as of the 31st of December 2024, there were 98 securities to be issued upon exercise of outstanding options, warrants, and rights. That sounds like a lot, but remember they want to increase authorized shares to 300 million. The weighted average exercise price for these was quite high at over $772,000 per S-hair. That is a significant hurdle for anyone looking to cash in on those options. And how about the director's compensation? For 2024, Faith L. Charles earned over $78,000 in cash fees. Jeff Keys earned about $59,000 and Bettina Cockcroft earned roughly $52,000. These are the fees they receive just for being directors, not counting any stock awards they might get. Now let's look at executive compensation for 2024. John Clamico, the Chief Executive Officer, had a total compensation of over $1.1 million. This included a salary of $525,000, but a significant chunk came from non-equity incentive plan compensation, around $285,000, and option awards worth about $292,000. Christopher Downs, the Chief Financial Officer, earned over $621,000, and Sandra Silberman, the Chief Medical Officer, earned around $361,000. These figures show a substantial reliance on incentive based in stock awards, which is common in a growth-oriented pharma company. It means a good chunk of their pay is tied to performance. When we look at compensation, actually paid, the numbers get a bit different. Especially for the CEO for 2024 compensation, actually paid to the payo was about $677,000. This is lower than the summary compensation table number, which implies some of the reported awards were not fully realized or valued differently in this adjusted calculation. The difference between reported total compensation and compensation actually paid is often due to how equity awards are valued over time. It is a bit of accounting wizardry, but it is important for understanding the gap between what is reported and what is truly taken home in hand. And what about the company S Financial Health? The past few years have shown a net loss. In 2022, it was around $15.3 million. In 2023, it jumped to almost $18.9 million. And in 2024, it decreased slightly to about $14.9 million. The company is clearly still in investment mode, burning cash to develop its drugs. This net loss is directly tied to the increasing compensation, perhaps indicating a strategy to incentivize executives to turn things around. Let's go back to those stock awards. For 2024, CNS Pharmaceuticals Inc. will be issuing a significant number of securities under their 2020 equity plan. As of the 31st of December 2024, there were 98 securities issuable upon exercise of outstanding options and a further 62 securities available for future issuance. However, they are seeking shareholder approval to increase authorized shares significantly. If approved, the plan will have 115,061 shares available for issuance, which includes the increase they are requesting. This move is aimed at allowing the company crucial flexibility in attracting and retaining talent through competitive equity compensation, a strategy common in the biotech sector where talent is king. Looking at the auditor's fees from Malone Bailey LLP in 2024, the company paid about $130,000 for audit fees, another roughly $167,000 for audit-related fees, and $11,600 for tax fees. This is up from significantly less in 2023, which might indicate more complex accounting or advisory needs. Alright, so what is the grand picture here? CNS Pharmaceuticals is in a growth phase, a phase where they are heavily investing in their drug pipeline and in their people. The push for a massive increase in authorized shares totaling 300 million common shares is the most striking aspect. While this offers flexibility for future growth, it also carries a significant risk of dilution for current shareholders. Executives are compensated generously with a large portion tied to incentives and stock awards, which is a gamble in the high-stakes world of pharmaceuticals. The company is still reporting net losses, which is not uncommon for companies at this stage, but it highlights the pressure to deliver results. The story here is one of ambition and risk. They are clearly betting big on their future prospects and are willing to dilute their existing ownership and pay top dollar to get there. The challenge for shareholders will be to see if this aggressive strategy translates into a successful drug pipeline and ultimately profitability. What are your thoughts on this massive share increase? Do you think it is a smart move for growth or a red flag for dilution? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this deep dive useful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more corporate breakdowns. And don't forget to join our Discord community, linked in the video description, to keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching. See you next time.